Today's true story from the Bible comes from Matthew chapter 16. Jesus and his disciples traveled to an area called Caesarea Philippi. Jesus asked the men, "What are people saying about me? Who do people think I am?" They answered, "Some people think you're John the Baptist. Some think you're Elijah. Some think you're Jeremiah or one of the other prophets." Jesus looked at them. "But," he said, "who do you say I am?" Peter answered immediately, "You're the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus, super impressed with Peter's answer, replied, "Blessed are you. God showed you the truth. On this rock I will build my church." A lot of people say Jesus was playing with words there because he was talking to Peter, whose name sounded a lot like Petra, the Greek word for rock. Throughout history, God had promised the Jewish people he would send a Messiah, or a rescuer, who would save them. The Greek word for Messiah is Christos, which is where we get the word Christ. Peter and many others believed Jesus was the Christ, their promised Messiah, and they were right. That truth would be the rock-solid foundation of God's church. Then Jesus began to tell his disciples some pretty hard things. He told them he would have to go to Jerusalem, and that when he got there, he would be punished by the religious leaders. Jesus said he would even be killed. But Jesus also told them good news. 3 days later, he would rise from the dead. Peter didn't like what he was hearing. He pulled Jesus aside and said, "This will never happen to you." Jesus said, "You're just thinking about what you want, but this is about God's plans." Very few people understood who Jesus really was and what he came to do, even though God had always promised since the beginning that the Messiah was coming. God loves his people and wants each of us to have a relationship with him. God loved us so much, he sent his one and only Son to be our rescuer.